Here we go. Pardon me on the tardiness, but I had to make some adjustments with my equipment. Sometimes you don't need new stuff, you just need to make an adjustment. You know what I mean? So I had to do a little bit of a not necessarily a switcheroo, but place some things here and there, find out why, you know, my laptop was making a weird noise, but I realized it was just normal. But anyways, let me also do a double check on my audio. Looks like everything's fine for now. I might have to do a quick mic check via the live stream. Might do a little quick live check via the live stream, but let's see. Might do a little quick live check. There we go. We're good. We are good. Now, let me see if I can bring up the image. Here we go. Love this. Love this. Man, shout out to Garrett Grant in the chat. This will be an easy stream. This will definitely be a easy stream. Aaron Rodgers went off on ESPN today. Apparently he went rogue, and I loved it. I loved it. As I'm looking at the clips, I love it. I love it. I knew he was gonna go off eventually. Specifically when they put Mr. Tony. I don't want to say his full name. When they put him on the stand and he doesn't want to admit to the nonsense that he had the American public, what he enforced on the American public in 2020. I'm never gonna forget that. I couldn't believe Americans fell for that. I could not believe that. I still haven't gotten over that. That was ridiculous. And there was a lot of decent people that got put through hell in the media. Kyrie Irving was one. Aaron Rodgers is another one. Not necessarily, he didn't go through necessarily what Kyrie went through because Kyrie actually lost money from doing what he did. But Aaron Rodgers' character did take a hit because there were a lot of people that were about that agenda. And they tried to use Aaron Rodgers, I guess, his cockiness or his arrogance or his confidence, whatever they want to call it, and how he wasn't with that situation with people just poking him and putting things in his body that he didn't consent to. And he was, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't have a problem with it. He basically let his nuts hang on the on the NFL and the organization, while a whole bunch of other ninjas, they were afraid to really say how they feel about the shot that everybody was supposedly supposed to take. Only Kyrie Irving and probably only a couple other ninjas were brave enough to speak their mind about that situation. And then Aaron Rodgers was one of the few dudes who was just like, man, F, I'm not even following this protocol that they got us following. So we already knew he was gonna let his nuts hang today, especially what's been happening. What they call it, Capitol Hill. Ninja gets to plead the fifth after all that nonsense he did. Mr. Tony. I'm gonna just call him Mr. Tony. By the way, there's certain people that they get presented in the media as everybody's supposed to listen to him, or he's the good guy, he's gonna help us. I'm always skeptical of people like that, just in general. And at the time, I remember seeing, Dr. F or Mr. Tony. I don't know what's the perfect nickname to call him, but Dr. F, when they put him on TV, and then I see the last name, because I already recognized him from the the AIDS thing. That was back in the 80s, right? But a lot of the times you can tell the nonsense is about to happen. All you gotta do is look at the last name. You look at the last name, and you see where they come from, and you check the pedigree, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. So that's how I've been doing things, especially lately. It's like, uh, I mean, you can't even. It's the science, or what do they like to call it? Pattern recognition is come on, off the charts with that. But yeah, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. In his rant, he called out Dr. F. He called out ESPN for covering for Dr. F and Dianna Russini, covering the Dianna Russini situation. And even in the middle of his rant, he was talking to Pat McAfee. He was like, "Man, I'm really sorry that you had to be connected to this trash." He was just going in. But anyways, let me log into my Twitter real quick. Let me log into my Twitter. So I don't know why they got me all logged out and all this nonsense, but I guess this is what we doing. Oh man, by the way, I think I added, oh yeah, I added this sound bite right here, this video sound bite, this little 3-second.
Living in America.
Definitely got to get more James Brown clips. I definitely got to add more James Brown clips. I got another one.
I'm not.
How loud is this? Here we
No,
go.
I'm not.
There it is. There it is. Let me see. Why are they not allowing me to log in? Hold on for a second, guys. Let me see if I can log in another way. By the way, hold on. Let me see. Hold on for a second, guys. But yeah, oh yeah. Also, by the way, did you guys see the so-called apology? The so-called apology by Stephen A. Smith to Kyrie Irving. That was, I'm like, after all that, bruh. Like Kyrie Irving, I know Aaron Rodgers tried to give Stephen A. some credit for apologizing, but that was no damn apology. That's anybody with two eyes or some kind of common sense. They know what Stephen A. was trying to do. He's trying to politic his way out of things like he usually does, and to put it in shorter terms, Stephen A. Smith, he's a boy. Just keeping it about. He's a boy in short order. He's going to serve any whatever is going to help him politically. That's what he's going to attach himself to. And Jason Whitlock was actually talking about this, a guy that I don't agree with most times, mind you. And he got Stephen A. Smith spot on. Spot on. Stephen A. Smith is going to run as a Republican, and Republicans are fine with that as long as he does certain things for their side. But yeah, Stephen A. Smith, and then he'll be liberal when it's convenient to him, and then he'll be conservative when it's convenient to him. But Stephen A. Smith is a boy in short order. I definitely agree with that. But I wanted to bring up I was gonna bring up another story first, but as soon as I logged into Twitter, this is what I see. This is hilarious, guys. Watch this. This is for the real listeners. This Garrett Grant said, honestly, I didn't see the Stephen A. Smith apology. Let me show Garrett that first. Let me show him that first. Because he thinks like Stephen A. Smith, he think he's slick, man. Stephen A. Smith apology. Pretty sure if I search that on Twitter, something will pop up. There we go. Yeah, the 22 right here, that 22-second clip. Thankfully, I did not have to search through my archives. Let me share the screen with you guys. We're going to share one of my Twitter tabs. Here we go. So let me share this Twitter tab.
In my opinion, particularly hindsight-wise, it didn't make him stubborn or selfish. It made him brave. His willingness to stand up and say, nah, I'm not doing that. In my opinion, particularly hindsight-wise.
Oh, they're not showing the full apology. I need the full apology. Here we go. 2 minutes and 42 seconds right here. Here we go.
An apology.
Let me see.
Feel compelled to do it today. And that's the issue. An apology. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But Kyrie Irving stood out in my mind. He refused the vaccine. New York City's mandate made him ineligible for home games. And he linked his stance to people losing jobs over vaccine mandates. It was Aaron Rodgers. Said he was immunized, not necessarily vaccinated. Got to be slick with that. We got on him about that. But
no, you did not. You got on Kyrie Irving's ass about that jab stuff. And then when Aaron Rodgers, your boy, got caught lying about his situation, you did not put that same energy on Aaron Rodgers like you did to Kyrie. Stephen A. Smith ripped Kyrie at the time. Don't let Stephen A. Smith lie to you. I remember. People might think people are gonna forget and all this stuff. No, I'm not forgetting that. He ripped Kyrie. Was calling him crazy. He's a team cancer. You ruining the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie lost like a lot, not because at least Aaron Rodgers, he didn't lose no money off that in terms of from his sports team or the league. The league didn't take money out of Aaron Rodgers' pocket. The league took money out of Kyrie's pocket, and the team that he was playing for took money out of his pocket. He took a way bigger hit than Aaron Rodgers. So don't. You owe Kyrie Irving way more than an apology. Then on top of that, when Kyrie Irving was, getting traded, or he was going to be free agent, or they put him in the trade market because of this, a lot of this lowered his trade value. A lot of this potentially took him out of the running to be in more competitive teams where he could have won a championship. Now, thankfully, Kyrie Irving was still able to land on his feet. He was able to be traded from the Nets to the Mavericks, and he was able to help Luka Doncic and company get to the finals. But Kyrie Irving lost a lot reputationally, his wages. And even when it was clear that he was right, people still didn't give him an apology then. It's only now since Dr. F got put on the spot, now we got some low-hanging fruit to kick at. We got Dr. F to kick at him. Some low-hanging fruit. When people been told you that boy was a fraud. But anyways, shout out to Pyro joining in on the chat. Shout out to B. Watkins. He says the World Cup was awesome. I'll say this. I did like the World Cup. I think Argentina just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth that people kind of forgot to really enjoy, the overall. It was a good World Cup. And then on top of that, what Infantino, he saw the money that was made in America via the World Cup, and then he basically tried to sell out the whole FIFA organization so people can get some private equity in like the FIFA's president, and then the Argentina team, Lionel Messi and the Argentina team, they left a really bad taste in people's mouth because of this World Cup. So this is that is something else I do got to talk about. Now for the Ballon d'Or, because people were saying, FIFA was trying to change the rules and all these things. Oh, if you win the World Cup, you might this might help you with the Ballon d'Or, basically trying to gift Messi another Ballon d'Or. So now they don't really know what to do, since obviously he didn't win. He's playing in the MLS, so you can't give a guy that's playing the MLS the Ballon d'Or, even though they did it for him last time, but they were able to justify it with his World Cup win when he won it in 2022. But this time, there's no way, they can't even play this off. So the Ballon d'Or is going to go to either Harry Kane or Mbappe. I think it should go to Mbappe. I mean, Golden Boot winner. I mean, he won a Golden Boot in his league, Champions League, and the World Cup in the same year. I mean, bruh. I know Harry Kane has overall more goals, but I mean, like just individually, also the amount of doubters that he had coming into the World Cup. If you go off of Twitter, people they will try to convince you that Mbappe cannot play soccer. like if you're going off of Twitter, they will have you thinking Vinicius can't play, Mbappe can't play. They'll have you convinced that who else that I can make an example? Like Twitter, you cannot rely on Twitter or the average soccer fan, like the average biased soccer fan, to really keep it a buck. And don't let these people that love Harry Kane, they love him now. Like I remember when I remember I used to talk to my brother all the time, and I've always put that out there, that I always thought Harry Kane was better than Wayne Rooney, even when he was at Tottenham. But people just keep relying on, well, look at the trophies that he won. Nigga, he was on Manchester United. The fucking, I mean, of course, if you take Harry Kane from Tottenham, you replace Wayne Rooney, they're gonna win the same amount of trophies, if not more. He's on a stacked team. Of course, he's gonna win trophies. But I've always felt Harry Kane was better than Wayne Rooney. I've always felt that. Now it's popular to say, because Harry Kane, Harry Kane has always showed up for England. Wayne Rooney has gone missing with England a lot of times. That's a whole other story for another day. And then you look at the production that Harry Kane was always able to give to Tottenham, despite not being surrounded with the best talent, despite being on a very underachieving organization. He was still able to produce for club and country. All he needed to do was be on a great team. So now he's been on a great team for the past 3 years, and people are just shocked that he's winning trophies. Of course, he's on a great team. He's on the best team in Germany. With Bayern Munich in Germany. He's playing with the best creative midfielders in the world up front. He's scoring like he usually does, and then of course he's going to win trophies. So this whole Harry Kane love, now people are brave enough to say, "Oh man, Harry Kane, he's England's best striker ever," and all this. It's all reactionary. All reactionary. Most of these people, they're sheep. Harry Kane's always been that boy. He's always been that boy. He's always been better than Wayne Rooney. I've always stood on it. He's always been a better overall player. I've said this on this channel, but that was back when I was doing a lot of more sports things. But people are very reactionary. So if we're gonna go off of really analyzing these things, people are only saying Harry Kane because they don't want to give Mbappe their credit. Too many people on Twitter was ripping Mbappe a new one. Even coming into the World Cup saying that he shouldn't even be captain, he shouldn't be all like they should be running it through Dembele. These are people that have no idea what they're talking about. They have an axe to grind. The hate campaign ran from PSG and Messi stands. It worked. The general um, soccer fan base, right? You know, the dictator Mbappe memes. These are all tactics and things to make Mbappe look like a bad leader. But when you saw what happened in the World Cup and you saw how Messi and Argentina were doing things, it's clear to me who was actually a dictator for real and who was actually a bad leader. But most people can't. They just can't see it. They just can't see it. But anyways, B. Watson says the media makes heroes into villains and villains into heroes. Most people are just not. They're just not adept in picking stuff like that up. The only reason why I can pick stuff like that up is not because I'm special. Is because uh, I'm socially awkward in general, and I don't have the best social skills, and I'm just not the best person to be around with. So there's trade offs. So like the average dude, they're not going to be able to pick it up. They're not going to be able to pick it up. They won't understand that when you talk about a Kyrie Irving, they don't understand that the reason why he was getting bad press, even when he was proven right, they don't realize that the city, not only did his organization owe him money, the city owes him money because the city ended up, New York City ended up having to owe the workers back pay. The workers that refused to take the shot, they ended up owing them back pay. So that also applies to Kyrie. So he could have really sued the NBA, his organ. He could have really sued for a bag, but he didn't, because when you're going, because you know these entities, these corporations, they don't play. They'll just throw us SA case on you and your ass is finished, depending on who you are. So you got to be careful when you do things like that. When you're suing organizations, you're suing these big corporations, these LLCs, these big corps. You have to be very careful. You really have to have your ducks in order. I've said this on this channel too. I'm surprised Jaylen Brown hasn't had an SA case just thrown at him. You know, people like that. That's what they do. Garrett Grant says a lot more people owe Kyrie an apology. Well, liberals they're not going to apologize. B. Watson says Mike Vrabel was too busy thinking about Puniti and forget it isn't the 90s and he can't hide his antics anymore, because he's always been like that. His teammates, now that they're on TV and they're talk, they say, yeah, Vrabel's always been that kind of a boy. But a guy like if you had asked, you know, the average normie sports fan, who's the wildest person on the Patriots in 2004, 2003, they're gonna tell you everybody, but they're nobody's gonna say Vrabel. No, but now that the players now have their own podcasts and you know, people that are part of the organizations, the people that had an inside look, now they're telling people the truth on who were the bad guys, who were the good guys, who were the troublemakers, who weren't the troublemakers. You know, he says, I will say this: Argentinians get a lot of flack for things all Latin Americans do and brag about it. It's a coordinated anti-Hispanic movement in weekend Hispanic times. He says all these dudes can play. But yeah, Argentina, they left a really bad taste. It be because especially of the World Cup is the platform that you're given is literally to the world. So however your country acts is going to be a bad look. So South America took a beating PR wise. Paraguay, right? Mexico, The only saving grace for Mexico was the what's it the Colombian dude, the black dude that's that plays on he was their PR savior. And that dude, he's not even Mexican, he's Colombian. He's Mexican by marriage. Oh man. But anyways, Garrett Grant says, I still get why Dr. F uh self snitch with notes on a government server and not even delete them after he left. Well, Dr. F, he's the pinata for this week, you know. So he's gonna catch this L this week because it's acceptable for him to catch the L now. But he's a small level puppet to the bigger powers in play. B. Watkins says Argentinians and Mexicans are both extremely racist and classist. Is just targeted against Argentines because of the woke narrative. And then Argentina also have their history is really bad. You know, so right now, I don't know if you notice, there's this Haitian born player that they just promoted. So he's like they put him in the U17 Argentina team, this Haitian kid that's been living in Argentina for a while. By the way, there's a small population of Haitians that live in Argentina. I remember seeing that documentary about 5 years ago. I saw that. I had no idea that was a thing. So they put him in to help them with their PR. They probably was gonna block him from playing with the Argentina national team, but they're like, man, we're taking a beating. We need to do something. Let me see. Mbappe, he says Mbappe is really cool too. However, I do feel he needs more teamwork. Oh, you mean like he needs better teammates? Because he was on Madrid. Let me see. Garrett Grant says, I'm not sure if Mbappe will get the golden ball given Real Madrid struggles to win any trophy. Yeah, because that's the one thing that can hamper Mbappe's chances, his lack of trophy success this particular season, and really the last two seasons. I think he's probably only won because he had no league trophies, and no Champions League. He's had I think at least probably he's probably had a couple domestic cups. He's probably had a couple domestic cups that he won, but when you're playing for Real Madrid, they're only playing for Champions League. It's Champions League success or bust when it comes to Real Madrid. Even league success, meaning to win the league, that's not enough. You need to win Champions League when you're at Real Madrid. So that's the thing. And then also, it doesn't look, when Mbappe left PSG, and PSG won after Mbappe left, PSG won 2 Champions Leagues in a row. So for some reason, people have attributed that to Mbappe, but the team was a little bit different when he left. And Dembele wouldn't even have been at PSG if it wasn't for Mbappe telling the club to get Dembele, because before Dembele got all the love he's getting now, people were calling him a flop and he can't finish and he can't play. Before he came to PSG. B. Watkins says the issue is Messi took this cup as his legacy rather than treating it as an honor to his nation. I agree with that. B. Watson says, yeah, Argentine teens are more outwardly racist, but Mexico is a colonial country that likes oppressing natives. I agree with that. He says, look up how they treat the Yaquis and the southern indigenous people. I don't know about, I didn't know the name for it, for the natives, but yeah, when it comes to Mexicans, they can be very, very, very racist. I know a couple of Argentines, like they're cool, but I've had run-ins with Mexicans. They will particularly when you're playing soccer, they will freeze you out. Or certain Mex a lot I'll say this, a lot of Mexicans in America, especially the football playing ones, they will freeze you out. They will like not pass you the ball. Or you'll tell them to play a position, and because they're not playing it with their friends or their teammates, they will actively play bad on purpose until you put them up front, or if you put them in an attacking space, and then all of a sudden they want to play. They will do things like that, and then they'll only try to collaborate with other Mexicans when it comes to playing. They will do slick shit like that. That only a few people will be brave enough to call them out. But the people that will call them out on that, they'll call those dudes racist and all this stuff. So that is a thing. That is a thing. When I was I think when I was younger, I have some some stories about that, but they're a little bit those might be a little bit personal. But I'll definitely say this. I will see Mexicans. They'll talk about American soccer and how it's this and it's that, and I will be quick to tell them, I'm like, you guys shouldn't be talking. Y'all are not that good either. I know America's bad, but Americans, they're distracted with other sports. They don't understand the importance of soccer and football and all these things in the world, in the grand scheme of things. So that's their excuse. What excuse do Mexicans got? Like, that's your only sport, and they've never made it past the round of 16, if I'm not mistaken, or what's it, the court? They've never made it past the quarterfinals or the round of 16 ever in World Cup history. That's sad. That's actually really bad. Um, but yeah, they'll brag like they have a real footballing legacy. Now they have produced world class players. I'm not doubting that, but your footballing legacy as a nation is not good. It's basically the same as America. So yeah, I'll see Americans and Mexicans. They'll be arguing who's better, and I'm like, both of you guys are bang average in the grand scheme of things. Even like, how about this here? I know I'm taking a big pause from that apology, but even you'll have American women. They'll try to butt in the conversation, and they'll talk about, well, American women, we're doing our job, and American men are not. Look, a lot of these first world nations, they've been feasting off of countries where they don't even allow their women to play sports. And now the tides are turning. I want you guys to know that like American women, they don't even have the best female CONCACAF player is not in America. The best player in CONCACAF for the women is not in America right now. It's in Haiti. So their days of just dominance, just dominating teams that don't even allow their their players to play. Those days are over. Those days are gone. America's not gonna win a World Cup in a while. Like what was the last time they won a World Cup was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2019, right? Or let me see, the 2019 World Cup winners. And even 4 years ago, I said this coming into the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. I said, America, they're not going to win the World Cup. And I predicted them getting eliminated by Sweden on AJ's channel. Only because a lot of people, they don't really know the inside information when it comes to a lot of these players, a lot of these teams, and it was just a matchup issue. Let me see, 2019 Women's World Cup winners. Who won that? Yeah, the United States. Good. Yeah, that's what I thought. The United States, they last won the World Cup in 2019. 2023, I knew they were not going to win the World Cup. And I told people, I was like, I hope y'all enjoy it because all the teams, even the developing nations, they've all caught up. They got, especially now, I'll be seeing these female footballers now. They got these hijabs now. They don't, they got these Velcro Nike hijabs. They don't fall off no more. And I'll be seeing the female Arab footballers. They can play. I'll be watching some of these clips. I'm like, oh, they can play. That whole talent gap is not because they were so good. It's just the teams that they were beating up on. They didn't even allow their women to play. Now it's different. Women have rights like worldwide. So now that all women, like, so all those first world nations are struggling outside of Spain, outside of Spain, outside of Spain, and maybe France. All the first world nations that usually dominate, which would be USA, right, Norway, and Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like USA, Norway, Germany, Sweden, right? Those teams, those used to be like the women's team that would just dominate, and to a lesser extent Brazil, but those teams, they don't dominate no more. Even I'll say even the Brazil women's team, they don't dominate like they used to because all the women can play now. There's no, you can just leave the team you're beating up on is like the women can't play because they literally are not allowed to play. So the USA women, they can't be talking that ish anymore. In the 2027 World Cup, watch. Look, the best players in the CONCACAF, they're not American anymore. They're not. The best female footballers in CONCACAF are not American. Hell, the best players, the best women's players in the world used to be like the top 5 used to be American. Now the top 5 players in the world, what American is a top 5 player in the world right now in terms of a woman in the women's soccer space? What American women's soccer player could you say, oh, she is a top 10 player in the world? I can't name. There's probably one in there, maybe one in that top 10. The best female CONCACAF player is in Haiti. They're actually saying that she might be the best player in the world. I think her name is Dumernay. She plays in the French club Lyon. I've seen her play. She's good. She's really good. So exactly. Yeah, exactly. Japan, Brazil. Shout out to Garrett Grant. Because I remember when Japan won the Women's World Cup, I think in 2015, was it? Or was it 2011 when Japan won it? But I remember watching that and I was like, I'm like, what happened? I thought USA women how did that happen? How they lose to Japan? Mind you, they have not only do they have the skill advantage, they have the height advantage too. They're physically better, more skilled, everything. Japan they're just going off a heart, and you lose. Because I remember seeing that game. I just forgot what year it was. That's when I was like, you know what? I think the world is caught up. Now, USA Women's, they ended up still winning a World Cup, but I mean, those days of just domination, those days are over. I like hold on. Just to show you I'm not making this stuff up and I'm not pulling this stuff out of my ass. Let me see. The best women's player. Let me see, because I haven't searched this up. Who's the best women's player in the world? Who are they going to say is the best women's? They're probably going to say the Spaniard. What's her name? Bonmati? Yep. Okay, so I went on Bing. Oh no, I went on Google. Let me share this with you. Let me share the screen with you. Oh, my bad. I took it's right here. So they say, yeah, Etena Bonmonte, the Spaniard. Yeah, here we go. Let me see the top. Yeah, I need the top 10. Who they got in the top 10? And I'm telling you, there's gonna be Americans. There's gonna be no Americans in the top 10. Let me share this tab. No, there's no more Americans in the top 10. There used to be at least two or three. You had sorry, not two or three. You used to have at least four or five in that top 10 like 10 years ago. 10, I'll say 10 to 15 years ago, it'll be like 5 or 6 out of 10 of the top 10 women's players, they were American.
Top 100 female footballers is out. Let's take a look at who made it into the top 10. Number 10 is Leah Williamson, England's two-time Euros winning captain, who guided her country to that second title in Switzerland and also won the Champions League with Arsenal, beating holders Barcelona with a near-perfect defensive performance. And number 9 is Claudia Pina. The 24-year-old had a stunning campaign.
Yeah, there's a lot of Spaniards. There should be a lot of Spaniards in that top 10.
Finishing the second highest scorer in the world across 2025, scoring more goals than she had starts in the Champions League before adding 2 stunning strikes for Spain at the Euros. Number 8, we have Eva Pajor. Also a Barcelona forward, Pajor scored over 50 goals this year for club and country and led the line for Poland at their first Euros. At 7, it's Barcelona's defensive midfield anchor, Patrick Guerrero. Sitting behind Alexia Putellas and Aitana Bonmati and still commanding the spotlight is no mean feat. Patrick is integral to both Spain and Barcelona. In 6th place, we have Temwa Chawinga. The Kansas City Current and Malawi forward has had...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. So that's another person. I remember they were saying she was the best player in the world. But I used to be so skeptical of this particular female because she looked so much like a man. I was like, there's no way. The way that she would run. I'm like, nah.
Spain and Barcelona. In 6th place, we have Temwa Chawinga. The Kansas City Current and Malawi forward has had a hugely impressive second season in the NWSL, and she was named MVP as Kansas City won the NWSL Shield.
So we got a Malawian female, allegedly. Nah, I'm playing with her. You have a Malawian in the top 10.
In at 5, we have England goalkeeper Hannah Hampton. The England and Chelsea goalkeeper helped her side to a domestic treble before she started the Euros. Her penalty heroics in England's quarter-final win against Sweden and in the final against Spain showed why she is considered one of the world's best. At 4, it's Lorena, Alexia Putellas. Magical to watch and talismanic for both Spain and Barcelona, she couldn't quite
Another Spaniard
guide her national team to a first European title. In 3rd place, we have England's highest placed player, Alessia Russo. The Arsenal and England forward won the Champions League and a second consecutive Euros title this year. Goal-wise, she hit double figures
I forgot about her.
for Arsenal in 2025 and shared the WSL Golden Boot.
That's 2 English women, Malawian, and then like 3 Spaniards. Or 4, I think. Yeah, it's 3 Spaniards. In the top 10, it would be like 3 or 4 would be American that we would have already heard from by now.
With Bunny Shaw. She also scored the critical equalising goal in the final against Spain at the Euros. In 2nd place is Russo's Arsenal teammate Mariona Caldente. The Spain forward slotted into the WSL after her move
Another Spaniard.
to Barcelona with incredible ease and was integral to the team's historic Champions League win in Lisbon, her 4th Champions League title and 3rd consecutive one. There are no surprises in who is at number 1, with Aitana Bonmati named at the top of the top 100 list for the 3rd consecutive year. The mercurial playmaker was named UEFA Champions League Player of the Year and the Player of the Tournament at the Euros.
So that's 5 out of the 10, I think, if I'm counting correctly. It's like literally 5 out of the 10 are Spaniards. It's just a different time now. It's a different time. So
What was the hardest?
I didn't even see anyone from CONCACAF in that top 10. So, bruh, that American dominance over, bro, over. Let's see who they have as the top 10, the best young women players in the world. Let me see this. Who they got? Yeah, so Vicky Lopez, another Spaniard. Linda Caicedo, I talked about her on my channel before. And yeah, Melchi Dumernay, the Haitian from Lyon. How old is she? Hold on. So even the best young players coming up, none of them are American. And then the one from CONCACAF, she's from Haiti. This is hilarious, bro. This is hilarious. So these things when we talk about development and seeing, okay, how do you see these things coming? You have to pay attention to the youth academies. You got to pay attention to the youth coming up, and people just don't. And then they're gonna get shocked when watch this. People are gonna get shocked when USA get knocked out in the group stage. Like, how do USA women's get knocked out? What's going on with USA women's soccer? The world caught up. That's it. The world just caught up. That's all. Shout out to Aerodynamic in the chat. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I see my man. Oh man. He says, yo, been a while since I called a stream. Watson says American 304s just talk a lot. If Elisa Liu had to compete against Trusova and Shpurkova and Valeva, she would have been 4th place in figure skating. B. Watson says Mexico is really good at soccer. They just talk a lot and have marketing. Ironically, America has more pedigree with them. Oh, yeah, in 1930. So 1930, they had a 3rd place finish. But the team, from what I saw when I did the research when I was a kid, I didn't really do much research lately on that team, but the research that I did was like the players on that USA team, a lot of them came from immigrant families. Like the best players on that team, they were immigrants. So, or I don't know what you call that, first generation or say, I don't know what you call that, but a lot of them were immigrants or had an immigrant background. B. Watson says Mexico hasn't been in the semifinals since the 80s. No, I don't. Did they even get to the semifinals? I don't think they've ever been past the quarterfinals. Let me do a quick Google on that. Let me do a quick Google. How far has Mexico gone in the World Cup historically? Ever? Let me see. Yeah. They said they've only reached, the farthest they've ever reached is the quarterfinals. That's what they're saying right here. Yeah, I knew. I'm like, there's no way I'm like, they ain't never reached no semifinals. We would have heard about that. Hell no. I'm like, that's yeah. I was like, I'm like, I know, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. But yeah, here you got it right here. They say the furthest they've ever been has been the quarterfinals and you said the 8, yeah. So since it was the 80s, so you were right about the date. They said Mexico has reached the quarterfinals of the World Cup twice in its history. It's 1970 and 1986. Yes. It's in 1986, the quarterfinals, and it falling to West Germany. Yeah, of course. West Germany was fucking stacked. Yeah. But it's like I said, it's no disrespect to Mexico, but they've been bang average. They've even though they've produced some pretty good play, like really good players, like Rafael Marquez. Not only was he a world class, I don't know if I can say world class, but he was definitely a top class player, and he was very influential. Like with that, especially that Barca team that really sparked off the massive, Barcelona fan base. He was very vital to that team. Because that team in 2000, I think, 2005 or 2006. And then on top of that, Rafael Marquez, he came from that Monaco team. Like he was really good. He was really good. He used to be he was one of those center backs that can really ping the ball all over the field. He was very like he's I'm not gonna say he started that, but people started knowing he was vital for that Barcelona that identity. He says also America ironically has surpassed Mexico soccer-wise, as they have many players in Europe and good teams, while Mexico doesn't even have European players anymore. I think they have a couple, right? You still have Jimenez. You still have they have a couple of young players coming up. I think one that was in the Barcelona academy, but I got to really think on that Mexican team that played in this World Cup, because I'm blanking on some of these players' names right now. Because even like their best player in this World Cup was Quinones, but he doesn't even play in Europe. He's 20. What? He's like in his 30s. He's got to be at least 31. Quinones. He's playing in, I think, the Saudi league. He's playing in the Saudi league or the Mexican league. I got to look that up. Quinones, where does he play? Last I checked, yeah, he plays in the Saudi league, and he's 29 years old. I was wrong about his age. He's 29, but yeah, he's the most dangerous player that I saw for Mexico. The one person that scared me the most was Quinones, and he's not even Mexican. Alicia Liu recently be dressing up like a baddie 304 because she is Chad chasing now. Chronic's words about internet ruining her have come true. Well, yeah, that was like I remember I saw a woman, she went viral. She just it was a Spaniard. She went viral for just taking a dive. Like she was wearing a swimsuit, and her body was showing, and she went down the slippy slide and she did a dive, and she gained a massive following off of that. And because of that following she started on OnlyFans literally the next week. I shit you not, this just recently happened. She started an OnlyFans the next week. Oh man. He says Mexico is really bad at playing soccer. I just forgot to type it. Mexicans just have marketing due to Televisa. It's not that they're bad; they're just average. You know, they and for the amount of crap that they talk, it's and since it's their only sport, I expected more. Right? The best players that in America that I've ever played against, I'm just keeping it a buck with you. The best players that I've ever played against that I can say, okay, this guy is superior, they were all FBAs, meaning these were all black players. And a few, and then when you talk about the best players I've played with, they were all, if they were of European descent, these were people of where they had Portuguese, they had a Portuguese family, or they had a Brazilian background, or they had a Colombian background, or an Italian background. The one good player that I played that had a Mexican background, I played with him, but he was fresh off the boat. Like he was a fresh off the boat Mexican. Like he was only in the United States for barely a year. He was the best Mexican player I played with, right? And then because but in terms of the best players I've played against, they were all either FBAs and then there was one dude, the best player that I ever played against. He was a white dude, but he has a Italian background, right? His family are Italians. So those are the best players I played against. Mexicans tend to be like you'll see you'll see USA the USA Federation, what they'll try to do, they'll try to flip the Mexican Americans that have dual citizenship, and I've always said that's a waste of time. Like I'm like, why would we waste our time doing that when we have the players here? We just need to be better with our scouting department. And besides, the best dual citizenship American players that we have are usually of German descent or usually they're of German, some like German descent or some kind of English descent where they were in England for a little bit and then they came here. Those are the best dual citizenship players that we have, not the Mexicans, right? Yeah. Says Rafa Marquez was very good, much better than overrated Blanco. Blanco was good though, but Rafa Marquez, in my opinion, yeah, he was better than him, like in terms of the package as a player. Yeah, he says that the Eggers like to talk but don't really back it. They hate when they see me beat them in soccer when playing with people of other ethnicities. Yeah, that is true. So like I'll play or I'll do a pickup and they will just not concede that I'm the better player. they will just not they'll just flat out not pass me the ball. Even if I'm scoring all the goals. Even if I'm scoring all of the goals, they will just not do it. Now the better players, yes, they will pass me. Like the better players of Mexican descent, they will pass it. But I'm talking about like the average, the ones that are like average, where they're beating up on lower hanging fruit. They'll look like prime Barcelona against low hanging fruit, but when they're facing other players, just that's just a little bit different. That's when they start fouling. This is when they start trying to play dirty. That's when they start trying to be a smartass to the referee. That's when they start doing the diving. That's when they start doing all the nonsense. Right. I remember Brad Friedel when England was about to face Mexico coming into the round of 16, and people were mad at Brad Friedel for what he said about Mexico, but he was spot on. He said Mexico was average and they're very beatable. He just said England they just can't be stupid and give up a goal in the first 15 minutes. And it was all going according to plan in England, but Quinones, like I said, Quinones was their most dangerous player. He came in and he kept Mexico in the game, and that gave Jimenez confidence, and he scored. So the game ended up being closer than it needed to be. England ended up beating them, but the game ended up being closer because England didn't finish them off when they needed to. But it was all going according to plan. All you had to do, I'll just say this, with each ethnicity, there's a style of play that you gotta understand coming in. If you're facing a group of Mexicans, right, in general, they're going to press you for like the first 10 minutes. You just got to survive their little press for like 10 minutes, right? You just got to make sure you don't get tired and you don't make a whole bunch of mistakes. This is like I'm just telling you from trial and error, and from me observing. This I'm telling like because when I was in elementary school, I was trash at soccer. I had to basically watch everybody else before I learned how to get myself better. And that took me about 2 years of really learning and really watching to really learn the game. And you pick up on patterns. So I'm just telling you, you just got to survive that little press they do for 10 minutes. And once they realize you're not that pressable, they might try to play a little bit tough in that one, but it's only going to last for 10 or 15 minutes. You just don't give up nothing stupid for those 10, 15 minutes. You keep your composure, you'll be fine. But a lot of people, they'll just get thrown off. But as long as you keep the ball, you stay calm. If you have some kind of decent touch on the ball, you stay defensively sound for a good 5-10 minutes. And if you can sneak one in first, if you can sneak one goal in first, you'll throw them off. You're going to throw them off. If you sneak one goal in first, you'll throw them off because they're going to get tired. After those 10 or 15 minutes, they're gonna get tired. Their parents on the sideline or whatever, their fans on the side, they're gonna get on them. But they're gonna get tired. Right. There's not a whole bunch of Mexican players or American players that I saw where I was like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. No, like it's maybe probably once or twice, but not that many. They're very easy to figure out after 10, 15 minutes, right? And then you'll have people, they'll say, oh, this guy was so good, he's Mexican. I'm like, the guy's not Mexican, he's Ecuadorian or he's something else. So you'll have people, they'll mistake they'll mistake another, like it'll be like a dude from El Salvador, right, or Guatemala that's playing good, and they'll be like, oh, this Mexican dude. I'm like, no, he's Guatemalan, he's this, or he's he's something else. So that's another discussion too, that but anyways. Oh man. He says Mexico had every advantage against England, but wasted it. But I knew that was going. I don't know why Brad Friedel got caught so much slack. Exactly what he said is I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. They were going to press. They were going to get tired. They were going to be missing chances, and then England were going to score first. I knew that was going to happen. In I was like, just give me 20, 30 minutes. But they fucked up because Quinones, he's not Mexican. He's Colombian. He's a different type of player. Like he plays like the typical Colombian player. He's a Colombian. Like when you watch him, you're like, yeah, that's a Colombian player right there. B. Watson says if you score if you score first, their morale breaks. And he says Edgars immediately cower, especially if women are near. They're easy to break when pressure applies. That's just from experience though. If you score first, especially if it's like early, then all of a sudden it's it's not necessarily crickets, but then they'll then they will result to dark arts. Dark arts and dirty tricks, diving and doing all these things. And you saw it in the England game. So, that's what happens. But it's a lot of people, they'll like it'll be like a player that came, like if you're an American soccer player, I want these guys to understand, if you have a player from another country, and it's not just Mexico. If it's a player from another country coming in and he's playing in America, those are one of the rejects, right? So you don't have to be really afraid of what they're going to bring. You just have to be smart, right? The more I listen to Barry Bonds, he just helps me with my soccer. I know it doesn't make sense what I just said, but there's certain players, and you can listen to advice when it comes to cross sports. And Barry Bonds talks about when he's at bat, I was always able to calculate the pitcher when I came up to plate, because I just realized it's just him and me, right? And I'm always able to win that mentally. Right. So it's a lot of these things. It's just confidence. And a lot of these things, it's just a mentality. And when there's certain people, they can't get over their fear of certain things. Like even like if you take the average Haitian man, right? They're going to look at Brazil, even though Brazil is not the same as they were, but they still look at Brazil as Brazil. So when Haiti faced Brazil, they kind of came in like not confident, not thinking that they could win. But Haiti kept it close versus Morocco, and Morocco actually right now is a better team than Brazil currently, believe it or not. So it's always just a confidence thing. It's always a mentality thing. It's just a confidence and mentality thing that people can't figure out. Like every time there's this cage that I play in New York. I'm not gonna say where, uh, but it's crazy what confidence does to people, and playing with a certain type of player. It's 5v. If you're doing a 5v5, it's not gonna be a blowout. You guys should be able to. Everybody's gonna get their touches. Everybody's gonna be able to display what they're gonna do. There should be no reason you're giving up in a 5v5, right? All it takes is one player to make the difference in a 5v5, or if you're in a league in a 5v5. That's all it is. It's all it's just a lot of these things it's just the confidence. It's just the confidence. He says Brazil hasn't been the same since they last won in 2002. Well, they haven't been the same since like 2006, in my opinion. Yeah, Neymar was their last great number 10. And Brazil is only realizing this now, that they don't really have anybody to really pick up that mantle. And you're right, Vinicius really isn't on that same level. He says, even in 2002, there were cracks. I disagree because there was a time because remember, they won in 90, they won the World Cup in 94. They went to the finals in 98. They lost that one. And then they went to the World Cup finals again in 2002, and then they won that one. So, and then from 2002 through 2006, people thought that Brazil was unstoppable. So I'll say from 2000 to 2005, people thought Brazil could not lose. But that was a different time. Oh shoot! I completely forgot about that apology.
But then disclosed that he had not received an authorized COVID vaccine and had pursued an alternative immunization protocol. He defended bodily autonomy and criticized the NFL rules for unvaccinated players. There was Djokovic, remained unvaccinated and said he was willing to miss major tournaments rather than take the vaccine. He was deported before the 2022 Australian Open, if y'all remember, and missed the 2022 U.S. Open because of government entry rules. Conor McGregor, his vaccination was supposed to emphasize me and faith for personal reasons and others to resent a lot of people. God-given choice. Bradley Beal said he was unvaccinated for personal reasons and questions why vaccinated people could still contract COVID.
So he's just going over the athletes that took a stand. I remember, McGregor, Djokovic. Shout out to Djokovic. I remember Djokovic. He took a stand. He's still suffering from some of that. I don't know who this player is. This athlete is. The Orlando Magic, Jonathan Isaac. I remember he took a hit. Bradley Beal is probably the only player that didn't really take a hit, but that's because he's not like a superstar. But he was vocal.
Spoke out against these folks. I spoke out against Kyrie Irving. Years ago, as we learned and gathered more information. But the real point is we can't condemn those who were a bit suspicious. Kyrie Irving is a phenomenal basketball player and never intended to hurt anybody. Just exercised his God-given rights as a man and as an American citizen to do something differently than the public was pressuring him to do. I wasn't alone. There were many, many people who took that position. But they were wrong. And I was wrong.
Yeah, that is true. Because really, these guys should really be suing a guy like Stephen A. Smith. But these people are backed by some heavy hitters. It is what it is. So I don't blame them for not suing. There's a lot of players, like Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Terrell Owens. Who else? Like these guys, they really should be suing the media, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story, you know. But anyways, my brother got that. He's gonna get that. He's gonna get the door. But let me see. The B Watson says the weak simps always fear the men they wrong, who have strength and conviction, and they get power to get vengeance. This is true. That's true. But anyways, oh man, we got what's it, Aaron Rodgers right here. Should I share? Should I go into that? Oh, this is what I wanted to give you guys. I forgot about this. So when I first logged into Twitter, this is hilarious. This is what I saw. another New York cop dying off of a BBL job from the Dominican Republic. You've got to be kidding me. So here, this is what I saw right here. NYPD cop, mom of 3, dies after boob job in the Dominican Republic. Family demands malpractice probe. How does that even happen? Let me see something real quick. How are you hold on. This is what I don't get. Because that's the I think the second or the third cop that I saw they died off of a BBL mishap by going to another country, like a wife. I'm talking about this is the second or third wife / mom that died off of a BBL job, and they're a cop. Like what is going on? Let me just hold on. Why are you at a certain by the time you hit a certain age or you reach a certain threshold in life, right? You're a mom of 3. She's probably a wife as well. You're a cop. Why do you need a BBL? You know? Says NYPD cop, mom of 3 dies after implant removal in Dominican Republic. Family demands malpractice probe. I mean, bruh. Says she's an NYPD cop died after suffering complications from breast implant removal. Oh, so she wanted to do breast implant removal surgery. So she wanted to remove. So she, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. So she came in as a cop already with a BBL. Wait, what? So when did she first get a BBL? What the? How does that happen? Implant removal. So she came in with a BBL, and then now she wanted to remove the breast implant. This is hilarious stuff, bro. Okay, let's keep it a buck. Did she really try to get a removal, or did she want to like a rework? Because there's a way where they'll take that tissue and then they'll do something, and then they'll try to work that out in another part of the body or something. I'm trying to find out, when did she first get the breast implant? That's what I'm trying to find out. Said the Paula's mother told the outlet she was rushed to health center after learning her daughter was in serious condition, but arrived at the clinic to learn that she had already passed away. Says she leaves behind 3 children and dedicated part of her life to working as a pastor alongside her husband. Oh my God. Says she leaves behind 3 children and dedicated part of her life to working as a pastor alongside her husband. Her family told the outlet, "You can't make this stuff up if you tried." Why are they not telling us when did she first get her breast implant? And okay. Okay, so now they're mentioning the other cop, right? Detective Alicia Stone, who received a butt lift and liposuction procedure in Colombia. So she tried to get her breast implant removed because so she tried to get it removed because I guess she works in a church, I guess. I think they're gonna try to cover for her because she was getting it removed. But I'm wondering, why did she get them in the first place, and when did she get them? Yeah, 31. Okay, all right. Now I know what happened. So they're saying that she's age 31. So she got them when she was a little bit younger, and then now she's in that phase. She's in the mommy phase of her life. She doesn't want that intention that she gets from that. She got tired of the attention of having that, and then working in a church or working in a church where she's trying to, have a cleaner image. So she decided to get the breast implant removed. So this is basically dual mating strategy, dual mating strategy gone wrong. That's really all this is. But yeah, that is interesting. She tries to get it removed, and she oh man, that's crazy work. That is crazy work. But if she wanted to just get it, she could have easily got that done in America, and then she would have been able to live. But trying to cut them corners, you try to cut them corners. You go to the Dominican Republic or one of these other countries, you cut corners. You don't pay that price that you're supposed to pay. These are the things that can happen to you. You know. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Maybe not necessarily a complete removal. Let me see. I saw B. Watkins' chat. Yes, he says, I don't know. It's probably a lie to save face. I doubt she was going to remove him. Maybe it wasn't necessarily a complete removal because there's been women I've worked with where I'm talking about, I've worked at a theater with a broad. She got a whole rework. And I'm like, what? Why? I'm like, you working with me here? Like, why? But she said that I remember at the time she said, I'm not getting a full thing done on my ass. What I'm doing is I'm just getting my body basically just reworked, just touched up a little bit. So maybe it was really a liposuction, maybe it was really something else. Maybe she was taking it where she's just taking some of it out, not necessarily the whole thing. Some people, they'll take the full implant out. Maybe in her case, she was probably just taking some, but not the whole thing, or taking some of it and then also trying to distribute the fat, to somewhere else in the body. I've seen women do stuff like that. They'll try to explain these things. I'm like, I can't keep up. Why couldn't you just gone to the gym? But anyways, this says we need to talk smack about Mike Vrabel. Oh yeah, I'll get into. I gotta definitely get into that. Pastor of criminal chat worship. Oh man. But yeah, the first thing I did when I logged in on Twitter, I saw this. I was laughing so hard. I was just like, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. How is this the first thing that I'm seeing? How is this? I'm like, how is this the first thing that I'm seeing logging into Twitter? But anyways, let me go into Twitter again. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's look at, let me just do one more checkup. Shout out, man. They're going in on the Dianna. I got my Twitter open right now. Obviously, I'm not showing you because I got to be careful with Twitter. But I'm looking through the search, and people are bringing up some good points. And Aaron Rodgers, when he called out Dianna Russini, he was talking about, the ballots because she's a MVP voter and a Coach of the Year voter. So there's a real serious conflict of interest, potential tampering like this. Like I'm so mad that the NFL basically blocked everybody else from like where ESPN can't really dive into it. Fox Sports, they're not allowed to do an investigation. NFL said, we were not doing an investigation in this because there's a whole can of worms that you can potentially open with this. There's a whole lot that we can go into with that. But let me just search in my bookmarks real quick. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting nothing. Oh, let me just show you this quick one real quick. Let me show you this one. let me show you this one. Right? Oh man. So there's this old post that somebody posted. He said, my girlfriend got fired from her job, so I brought her the McDonald's Grinch meal and a new Geek Bar to cheer her up. So this is a picture of his girlfriend. At the time, this was December 3rd, 2025. And this is a close-up of his girl. And if you notice, I'm looking at her. She's got bright red hair. She dyed her hair red. So I already know she's insane. She's got to be some kind of a liberal. And she has no eyebrows. And then she has a mouth piercing. Right? So I already clocked that when I'm looking at her, and I'm already clocking. I already know what type of chick she is. And when you're having a girl like that that's working in these establishments, that's, you can't be shocked if she cheats. So in this tweet, that's the original tweet, and then he shares an update of today. He finds out today that she cheated, right, in 2026. Now, people were saying that, oh man, so in this time frame when she lost her job, she decided to cheat now. And what people got to understand is, no, she was cheating before she got fired from her job in 2025. If any young men that are listening to me that are under the age of, I'll say, if you are 23, sorry, how about this? If you are 25 and younger, right? And you have one of your little girlfriends working at these jobs, it is a good chance that she's cheating on you. It's a good chance. And it's not unrealistic to think that she's not. Because I've seen even the most chopped chicks. But if she's young enough, she's gonna get got. If she's young enough, she's gonna get got. Every job that I worked with, Every young girl with a boyfriend that I've worked with at these jobs, when you're talking about Wendy's or Denny's or McDonald's, Burger King, I don't care where it's at, especially at these fast food restaurants or minimum wage spots. Every young girl that had a boyfriend, they were cheating, or not necessarily cheating, but they had other dudes that they were messing with. And most of the times, it was a dude at the same job. And if it wasn't a dude at the same job, it was another dude at another job that she was working with. The guy that she's cheating with is the guys from the other job that she's working at. Every single one. Every single one. And I'm not exaggerating. Even the lesbians. Even the lesbians. I'm not exaggerating. This is not just, anecdotal, like this is not anecdotal experience from just one job. This is every job I've worked at. So I've worked in the hood. I work with hood ninjas. I work with women from well-to-do families. I work with young women that are just making it, doing what they can, but in a regular situation. All of them that had a boyfriend, they were cheating. They had another dude that they was messing with. All of them. All of them. And there's no exception. Now, here's the funny thing about this post. Everybody was ripping him in the comment section. Everybody was like, bro, you should have known better. Look at her. And this was my favorite reply. Somebody posted this reply, and it says, she never fooled you. You always knew exactly what she was, and you loved her anyways. Guys will take on women like this and for some reason be shocked at the results. I don't get it. We'll talk about how dudes are we'll say that women don't know how to pick men, right? But dudes don't know how to pick women. I'll just say that outright. Dudes don't know how to pick women. And dudes get easily fooled by what women say, but there's certain examples where it's obvious. The girl has no eyebrows. She's not mentally, if you're dating a girl that will shave off her own eyebrows, you're not dealing with a mentally stable woman. There's no way. But yeah, people were in the comments. There was so, and I'll say that this is one of the rare times where I'm agreeing with the majority, but I'm gonna have to stick with the majority here, bro. It's clear what she is. It's clear. Somebody said she shaves her eyebrows, and you thought she was a good woman. But it's some people, they gotta learn the hard way. Somebody said, what did we learn? Exactly. In the wild, the most poisonous animals, they'll have a specific skin that they wear. So, even on this channel, we'll say, you have to watch out for these trad girls because they'll look the part, but they won't act the part. But then there's just some examples like this where it's pretty obvious. But just understand, if you are a young man dating, you're dating a young woman around your age, that young love, those young couples, right? Don't be shocked if your girl is messing with somebody at the job. You just can't be shocked. Or if she is sleeping with multiple men while she's being with you, you cannot be shocked. It's not a thing where it shouldn't be something where you're so shocked that it happened, or you can't believe it happened. And especially in this case, I think you'll have I think you have dudes where they will date a an openly man hating woman, and they think because okay, I bagged this man hating liberal woman, I'm the only man that she likes. That's why she's with me. No, the reason why women, when you're dealing with a man hating woman, the reason why they're that way is because they've been with too much men. it's like um it's like it's a good chance. I'll say it's a good chance that she has slept with damn near as many men as prostitutes, right? So if when you're dealing with a stripper, right, or a streetwalker, they naturally end up resenting men because when you're working, if you work somewhere, you're eventually going to resent the customers that you have to serve, right? That's just the natural way of things. You end up resenting the customers that you have to placate to. That's natural. So the same applies to women that work in that kind of lifestyle. And then on top of that, if you're just a woman that just get ran through and nobody takes you seriously, eventually you're going to hate men. Or if you got done dirty by a Chad you thought was going to take you seriously, she's going to hate men forever. Or how about this? She finds out that she never had a chance with Chad or Tyrone or whatever these people. So she'll just end up dyeing her hair red, shaving their eyebrows. Women that do stuff like that, I'll say specifically women that do stuff like that, they'll shave their eyebrows. Those are women that in their mind, I don't have a chance at Chad, so I'm just gonna be the most man-hating woman, and just whoever wants to deal with me can deal with me. But since I'm not good enough for Chad, I'm just gonna completely mess my face up. I'm gonna put tattoos on my face. I'm gonna dye my hair red. I'm gonna do everything I can to make myself um un unlikable to the male gaze. Trust me, that's how it is. Oh man. Garrett Grant says shaved eyebrows and lip piercings is crazy work. Yeah, that should have told you everything you need to know. And I remember even when I was younger, this is how I knew things were bad. I remember when I was younger, I was working at Home Depot, and there was this girl that I was working with. She was 26, or I think she was either 26 or 27. I was 21 or 20. I had it, yeah, it was because it was during 2020. So yeah, I was 21. I was 21, and she was 26. I was 21, and I started picking up on. I'm like, yo, she's hitting on me, right? But I'm like, don't she have a boy, her nerdy boyfriend that she be bragging about to everybody else and all these things? White girl, um, glasses, homebody type, right? And I always looked at her as, like, oh, okay, she's just a regular chick, right? Not completely ugly, doesn't have like any like standout physical features, just a regular white chick, not fat, not particularly skinny either, but not definitely not fat or chubby, not fat or chubby, just regular chick. And I started picking up. I'm like, oh, she is throwing all the signals. Don't I'm talking. She's not flirting. Like this is a hot lead, and I was just like, at the time, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. But I remember going home, and I was like, if she's doing this to me, no, rather to me, she's that bored that she's willing to throw her situation away for me for whatever reason. And really, it's not that she was attracted to me. It's just that we worked the way that we were working together a lot. So when you're in close proximity to your coworker, eventually there an attraction will grow. So if it's a co-ed situation, You got a boy and girl working together. The longer they work together, a mutual connection will grow. Whether it be just liking them or something's gonna happen. Something mutual. You'll be able to connect with something. So that's what ended up happening with me and her, because we just ended up just working together a lot. And she started really going after me at the time, even with her situation. So at the time, I was like, man, is she doing it? Damn, that means that's when I started looking at all the girls that I was working with, outside of one girl that I was talking about remember the one girl, the black girl I said that she was the one girl that I knew wasn't cheating on her boyfriend. The one that kept her distance from everybody. Outside of her, I started looking at every other girl, and that's when I started catching on that ever since that specific girl, I was able to catch, okay, she's cheating on, she got a boyfriend at home. She's single, but she's cheating. No, sorry, like she's single, but she's messing with this dude from this department. She has a baby by this dude. Like I knew one girl, she was one of the not a man, yeah, she was one of the supervisors, right? She had a nice like rear end. That's what she was known for. And she had a baby already. She was a young mom, and she had a boyfriend that was working at the same store as she was. So her boyfriend was in our store, and she still cheated. So she got her baby daddy that she got to deal with from time to time. Then she has her boyfriend that works with her at the store, and she still cheated on her boyfriend slash right stepdaddy with another guy that was working in another department. And that story was funny. So with that situation, the guy that she was cheating, like she cheated, he like half cheated, meaning he was mid-stroke. This is what she told me. This is not me speculating. She told me this. She told me that she slept with that dude. She said that mid-stroke, he was like, I can't do this. And he just left the car. And I was like, so where did this take place? She said, oh yeah, in my car and in the parking lot. I was like, I'm like, how? Everything's open here. And she didn't want to tell me where in the parking lot. She just said, yeah, it just happened here in the parking lot. So this is the average. I'm just saying, this is just the average situation. If you got a girl in her 20s, especially if she's in her younger 20s, I don't care if she has a kid. I don't care if she has 2 or 3 kids. She's got at least 2 or 3 dudes, not necessarily lined up. I'm talking about 2 or 3 dudes that she is actively messing with. And 2 of those dudes or one of those dudes could literally be in your orbit. I don't care how chopped you think she is, or I got me she's a 5 out of 10, so she's gonna be loyal. I don't care what she looks like. I told you this. There's only that one girl that I told you about. It's only one that I knew that had a boyfriend, and she was loyal. Only one. Only one. So actually, I was wrong I said every single one. There's only one girl that I knew. One. That's it. One. Dude, look, imagine how many women I've worked with. Like, you're talking about hundreds, if maybe, I'm not going to say thousands, but definitely hundreds of women I've worked with. Or how about this? Hundreds of women in their 20s, in their early 20s, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20, 21 that I work with. Only one. One. And she was black. So I'm just saying. bruh. And I'll say this: if she is Latina or she's light skinned, forget a bit, forget about it. For please, don't let her be Latina or light skinned. Please, she's going. She's going. There's gonna be too much dudes at the job or too many customers gonna be in her ear. It's gonna be impossible for you to keep her. There's no way she's being monogamous. It's impossible. Impossible. I'm talking about if you are. Let me bring up a picture. Let me bring up a picture. Well, I don't know what would be an appropriate picture to bring up. Oh, let me bring up Carabao. What's her name? Carabao. Caribou, whatever her name is. I don't, dude. If your broad could look anything near this, she could be as chopped as she can. But if she's Latina and she looks anything like this, or if she's a light skinned broad, you're not going to be the only one she's sleeping with. That's just it's going to be impossible. And don't let her and then don't let her even have a please. If she even has any type of curvage anywhere, it's over. It's over, bruh. It's over. I'll never get over this. There was this Instagram couple that was arguing with me in like 2021 or 2022. It was this couple, and it was a dude almost as dark as me, and his girl was like, he had a light skinned girl with a fat ass, and they were trying to argue with me about, oh yeah, she was like, yeah, I have plenty of male best friends, and the dark skinned dude was like, what's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem with that? It's like, are you kidding me? You think your girl has male? You think your girl has male friends? You have a light skinned chick with curly hair and a fat ass. You think those dudes, those orbiters, are her friends? You gotta be. I said you gotta be the greenest dude. And it was interesting. They stopped like usually people like that, they'll stay in your algorithm forever. Those couple pages, they always stay in your algorithm. And for some reason, I can't find them no more. Can never find them. So I already know what happened. They broke up. He probably found her getting hunched by one of those male friends. Doesn't take much. It don't come on, man. But this dude he was so green. They had like a podcast together and everything. And I was like, I'm like, this boy here, man, he don't know. He has no idea. Oh man. I want to bring up another example. Let me see if I can bring up another example. Because there's this one girl I used to bring up as the she was the ultimate example that I would always bring up. Secret. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. No, boom, boom, boom. Cause let me see if I can bring her up. I don't remember, because I don't be remembering these people. See if I can search one of these people up as an example. One of them Kalani, she one of those Kalani types, Keelani types. Trying to see if I remember her name. Nah, I'm not. I ain't gonna remember that host name. But there was this one broad I used to bring up as an example. She was a Kalani. She was a Kalani type, light skinned chick, tattoos all over the yin yang, but she likes street ninjas, right? I used to bring her up all the time as an example. I just forgot her name. If you got any type of chick like that, now maybe okay, if she works at corporate, maybe she won't get fucked that much, right? But I'm just saying, like, she work at Home Depot, it's over, bro. She work at Lowe's, she work at she work at Hobby Lobby or one of them spots. Come on, man. It's over. It's been one. It's been one, man. Just accept that L. Don't be all texting up her phone. Where you at? What is it? You gotta already know what's happening or possibly happening. Right? So let's go into Mike Vrabel. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers going in this situation. Let me bring up the full video.
Scandal, and it's just like nobody can fucking talk about it. What are we even doing
personal
here?
lives are personal lives. I feel like
Aaron Rodgers sound like me right now. We can't even talk about it. What are we doing? He sounds like me when I be upset, bro. But anyways, let me bring up the full video. That's just a snippet of that. Let me bring up the full video. But that specific part, I want you. I'm going to replay that specific part where he hints at, with Dianna Russini being a Coach of the Year and AP Awards voter. Like this is something that we got to pay attention to.
That we're doing. Like, you have literally an individual that maybe used to work at ESPN that covers our league at the highest level, and there's a major scandal, and it's just like nobody can fucking talk about it. What are we even doing
personal
here?
lives are personal lives. I feel like you of all people should know that.
I understand, but if it's affecting certain things, if there's leaks going on, if there's tampering going on, if that person is also an MVP voter and a Coach of the Year voter, remember.
This is what I was saying, especially with the Dianna Russini situation, especially the awards that she's allowed to vote in on. I mean, how is there not an investigation? How?
Remember when I won MVP in 2021?
Yeah, how about
and that bomb in Chicago?
Yeah.
That's real life. Like, how are we allowing these people to have an impact?
Pornhub our Kush is what we call it.
We really need to start putting these voters on blast. Even I remember when even some of the MLB Hall of Fame voters. I can't believe Ken Griffey to this day. How is he not unanimous? Who was the one person that didn't vote for him? These people need to be put on blast. I'm sorry, they have to. Like that's just ridiculous, right? So let me bring up the full video. Let me bring up the full Aaron Rodgers video of him going in on on just the whole situation. So here we go right here. Let me share this tab. Let's play it.
A couple times today, because you've been very open about coming back for this year, last rodeo, and you talked about your wife saying, hey, have another year. Mike McCarthy being here, obviously a big deal. Can you tell us about the mindset of coming into your last season? Like, that's a real thing, it feels like, because is everything better? Is everything funner? Is everything more awesome? Like, how do you kind of view this year versus maybe the years of the past?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay.
Okay. Gotta love that guy. Okay.
Like that absolute coward, Tony Fetcher. Absolute coward.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 111
You got a
times.
pardon and you pleaded over 100 times
Yeah.
at the White.
So that was obviously a shot to Dr. F, right? So he's going to go in on this situation because Aaron Rodgers' credibility, his character took a hit with the vaccine controversy at the time. So this was his moment to let loose about the situation, because even with the Dr. F situation, ESPN They didn't even want to cover that. Stephen A. Smith kind of covered it, but he's the one with the biggest clout, so he could kind of get away with it. But it was definitely not highlighted news on ESPN. Like when like with these big sporting networks, they're very slick. It's like this is some serious stuff. I remember when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I remember they were bigging up Ronda Rousey to be the best thing since sliced bread and all these things. And then when Ronda Rousey had her first loss, ESPN did not cover it. I don't know if it was her. I don't know. No, I don't think it was the first loss. I think it was the loss to, I think, Amanda Nunes. I forgot which loss it was. ESPN just straight up decided not to cover it. So networks will do stuff like this. That's a big deal. So they'll just not cover it. So they'll act like it doesn't exist. And it will just, the normies will skip over it. And most people are not slick enough or astute enough to catch what they're doing. They're basically trying to kind of distance themselves from the relevance, or they're trying to distance, they're trying to remove their stock from the hype job that they created in Ronda Rousey, right? And I'll give you even another example. I remember when Colin Cowherd was bigging up Trevor Lawrence and he's Jesus Christ and all of this. Trevor Lawrence loses in the college football playoffs to Justin Fields the second go around. And Colin Cowherd, he refused to even touch that topic. And only Joy Taylor called him out. He was like, so Joy Taylor was like, so we're not going to talk about we're not going to talk about Clemson losing to Ohio State. Like, that's what we're doing? No. And Colin Cowherd, he was looking tight. That's a tactic, a technique that networks will do to just quietly remove their stock from you. They'll just not cover the topic. They won't mention it. Or they'll put it a little bit in the bylines, but they're not going to cover the topic. It's very slick.
White House, what are you scared of, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought you were the science.
Yeah.
I thought you were I am science, and you get up there and you can't answer a question?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And how much time did the network spend on that? How much time did they spend on my responses every week, on my vaccination status, on Taylor and Travis's wedding? Yeah! Did they do even a minute? Did they do even a minute on Tony Fauci?
Yeah, Travis Kelce and Kelsey and Swift's wedding was sponsored by Pfizer.
I don't think I've heard anything.
I bet they didn't.
But on that note,
then there was another scandal this offseason too, involving a voter for MVP, for Coach of the Year. How much time did your network spend? Did your network spend on
our
that?
network?
I wish
How much time did you spend?
I'm gonna slow it down real quick and look how much hype he got when he was talking about Dr. Fauci. But watch this. Once he switches his ire towards Dianna Russini, the MVP chants stop. I want you to pay attention to this. Watch this.
On that note,
Then there was another scandal this offseason too, involving a voter for MVP, for Coach of the Year. How much time did your network spend? Where's your cap? Did your network spend on
our
that?
network?
I wish
How much time did you spend?
You heard his other co-host. He said, go back to Fauci. Go back to talking about Fauci. So it's safer right now to talk about Dr. Fauci, a.k.a. Dr. F, right? It's safer for Aaron Rodgers to talk about Dr. Fauci than it is for him to talk about Dianna Russini and her situation with Mike Vrabel and the potential tampering and the potential conflict of interest. I want you to pay attention to this. This is very interesting.
This is awesome.
Go back to Fauci?
Yeah.
Go back to the coward Tony Fauci and his science?
Hold on now.
Who's spending the entire time writing in his diary about how fun it is to be famous. You got to be kidding me.
Okay, so on that note,
What are you going to say about me now?
Debate him,
What are you going to say about me
no,
now?
I got no debate here. You had a 500.
No, seriously, what are they going to say about me now? Now that you can't talk about the COVID stuff because obviously it was made, in a lab in China. That's like not even questionable anymore. Tony Fauci is an absolute criminal. I'm on good terms with my family. I'm on good terms with my family. What are you going to say now? What are you going to say now?
I want to let you know, it's been a fun ride for you, I would assume, over the last
It's
couple.
been a great life and a great career. And it's nice to be sitting.
Did somebody hold on? Do you guys see that sign in the background that they had to? Says "Let's go commies," and it has the Redskins old label.
I'm on good terms with my family. What are you going to say now? What are you going to say?
That's funny. That's funny. Some of these fans are funny.
I want to let you know, it's been a fun ride for you, I would assume, over the last couple.
It's been a great life and a great career. And it's nice to be sitting on this side now, especially after that coward played the fifth over 100 times.
Okay.
I thought you had a part in there, Tony. Why couldn't you answer one question the entire time?
Okay,
Why
we
not?
have 4 minutes until the heart out.
Yeah, I got
do-
4
I do
more
feel
minutes.
like-
We
I
can keep
got
this
more.
shit going. We
I
can
do
keep it
feel
going.
like I
Anything
should-
else?
I got at least 4 minutes.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, that is very interesting. But we gotta dive
couple times today.
more into. We need to dive in more into the Fauci. Not the Fauci. The Dianna Russini situation. Right. Let's look at this clip one more time.
Network doing? Like, you have literally an individual that maybe used to work at ESPN that covers our league at the highest level, and there's a major scandal, and it's just like nobody can fucking talk about it. What are we even doing
Personal
here?
lives are personal lives. I feel like you of all people should know that. But
I understand, but if it's affecting.
Oh nah. Let's not do that. Oh, but Aaron Rodgers, man, we got you though. But let's not talk about personal stuff, man. You guys should know. You should know us. No. We not covering for Dianna. We not doing that. We not covering for Dianna Russini. Dirty Dianna.
I feel like you of all people should know that. But
I understand, but if it's affecting certain things, if there's leaks going on, if there's tampering going on, if that person is also an MVP voter and a Coach of the Year voter, remember when I won MVP in 2021?
Yeah, how
And
about
that
you?
bomb in Chicago?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's real life. Like, how are we allowing these
What was
people
that
to have
guy's
an
name?
impact?
Pornhub our Kush is what we call it.
Pornhub Kush,
But,
yeah.
I remember he had a name. Okay, so
Yeah, Pat McAfee wanted no parts of that story. So right now on ESPN or Disney Airwaves, it is safer to talk about Fauci than it is about Dianna Russini being a hoe. And not necessarily her being a hoe, but the potential can of worms you open by really investigating how she's really getting a lot of her stories, tampering, her votes, her influence on other people voting for who. Like, this was really something that the league should have really dived into, but they had no they they wanted no parts. They wanted no parts. They couldn't afford another scandal. So this is very interesting. Shout out to Tony Farmer. Oh man, let me see if I can find. Yeah, he's been tweeting about this. He's been tweeting about this stuff. Oh yeah, how about this? He says, if Adam Schefter was willing to cover for Kyle Shanahan for 11 days and not mention he was at fault in his story, is it that hard to believe that Chris Sims was willing to cover for Kyle and say he was coming from a chiropractor? So Tony Farmer, he's talking about a story that happened with a coach, a very famous coach in the NFL. His name is Kyle Shanahan. He coaches for the 49ers. Mind you, this is from a 49ers fan, right? So Kyle Shanahan got into an accident. So when the news broke that he got into an accident, it was 14 days, or what's it? He's saying 11 days. Yeah, it was 11 days earlier. So the accident happened 11 days earlier, and then 11 days later, they finally broke it to the media that he got into an accident. And Chris Sims, and Adam Schefter and Chris Sims came out and said that they already knew about this accident happened 11 days ago. And people are like, wait a minute. If Brandon Ayuk sneezes, it's news. If Brandon Ayuk posts something on Instagram about him potentially, it's we got to cover it, and he's suffering from mental health and all these things. But Kyle Shanahan gets into a car accident and there's no investigation, and you held it from the media from 11 days. So what happened in this car accident? Where was he coming from? Who did he hurt? Who was hurt? What happened? So and then when people started doing the investigation, the police even covered for Kyle Shanahan. They didn't leak anything. This type of nonsense, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Because because people got to really, because now a real nigga like me, I'm going to ask the real questions. Kyle, who was in the car with you? who was in the car with you in that car accident? Oh, I was coming from a chiropractor. Bullshit. Who was in that car with you? What hoe's house you came from? Oh, we was in the car. Man, an NFL player gets into if an NFL forget that. I was gonna bring up Tony Romo. They was actually covering for him on that too. If the average NFL player, he gets pulled over, it's gonna be news the next day. If he gets pulled over, it's gonna be news. You get into a car, like I'm not gonna say a serious car accident, but it was serious enough where he had stitches on his face, where he was gonna eventually have to explain himself to the media. Yo, why you got stitches on your face? Why you got stitches on your arm or whatever? There's visible marks on your skin. Where did you get that from? Adam Schefter, who reports on everything, covered for him for 11 days. Chris Sims, a former NFL player, he covers for him for 11 days. But Lamar Jackson, he's driving over the speed limit. He posts himself driving over the speed limit, and it's it's front page news the next day. This is the type of stuff that people are tired of. B. Watson says, I doubt it was the male friend. She was Chad. Only Chad be rising up. Let me see. He says, Mike Vrabel is protected. That's why they can't talk about it. Yeah, there's certain people in the media, they're protected. Certain people, they are connected to certain agents. If you're in a certain agency, right? You see how people complain about, if you're in the Clutch Sports agency, you're covered, right? When people talk about, LeBron paying off people in the media, and I'm like, yeah, that's what they do. That's the game. Certain things won't be reported on you if you join this gang, if you join Rock Nation. All of a sudden, all your sins are covered. You can basically do whatever you want. B. Waskin says Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini are protected, and that's why no one says anything. Mike Vrabel rubs too much shoulders with the men in the dark suits of the NFL. Exactly. Mike Vrabel, not only Mike Vrabel, what I just mentioned about Kyle Shanahan, right? Grew up under his father, Mike Shanahan. These guys are insulated. So whatever fuck up they do, you're not going to see it on the news. These are the things I've talked about. I remember us telling you guys it was certain people, a certain athlete, they got into an accident, and the lawyer came on this. Like I'm talking about, the lawyer came on the scene. I'm not gonna say he confiscated phones, but he put a block on, yo, nobody's recording nothing, or you're gonna be hearing from my lawyer. Sorry, you're gonna be hearing from me, and all these. Like, it's certain people that got juice like that where they can fuck up, even if they're drunk. They off a fender bender, and nobody can post nothing about it. The people that be doing effed up stuff in the NFL is not who you think. What was interesting about the Brandon Ayuk situation, for the people that follow the NFL, people probably understand what's happening with the Brandon Ayuk, because they say he wants to get traded, he wants to leave, and then they're trying to make it seem like he's crazy or he's going through a mental health crisis and all this stuff. And I was like, nah, I think he saw me personally, I think he saw some gay shit. That's just my opinion. Because he got his money, and then all of a sudden something happened where he just basically checked out. Me personally, I think he saw some faggotry, and he was just like, what the F is this? And he just backed out, and he was just like, well, I can't, I don't want no parts of this. He is in San Francisco, right? That's me. I think he saw something that he was not supposed to see, and it's been messing with his mental. That's just my opinion with the Brandon Ayuk situation. Now, the way they're making it, he's crazy. He's lost it. He's gone off the rails. Meanwhile, Kyle Shanahan is doing his little thing on the side. And when he gets to do his little thing on the side, he has people covering for him. What else is he doing? What else is he getting away with? They want to tell you who's crazy and who's not. But meanwhile, Kyle Shanahan is doing some. Remember when Brandon Ayuk, something happened to Brandon Ayuk, he got pulled over or something, and then it was news the next. It was news the exact time it happened, when Brandon Ayuk was going through something, and then he got pulled over, and nothing happened with the pullover. I don't even think it wasn't even a DUI or under the influence. It was just, he just got pulled over, or I think he got pulled over for speeding or something near the facility, and it was everywhere, and it became a whole segment. But Kyle Shanahan, he gets into a whole car accident, serious enough where he needed treatment and stitches, and he has people in the media, powerful people in the media, or people connected to powerful people in the media, already willing to cover for him. And they're so cocky with it. Chris Sims, Chris Sims and Adam Schefter, they're telling us, hey, we knew about this 11 days ago. they're just so cocky about it. They forgot that they're not even supposed to say nothing like that. They're basically bragging about the type of access and connections that they have. They forgot they weren't supposed to let the general public know that you knew about a serious accident 11 days ago, where nobody knows the details of the accident. Nobody knows where he was coming from. Nobody know who he hurt, who he might have hurt, or if somebody ran into him. Like, this is crazy. Crazy work, man. This is crazy work. B. Watson says OSC would probably raise hell if Mike Vrabel even raises a fuss. He got everyone protecting him. But yeah, when you're well connected and you make friends with the right people in the media and you got the right agent, you can mess up. You can, not only can you mess up, you can F up and still recover. Right? B. Watkins also says all these MFers who do a bunch of messed up stuff in the NFL ain't going to have any consequence because of the people who they talk to and who make money off them. Like, you can't say with a straight face that Mike Vrabel has enough OSU connections that the school would cause an issue with the NFL if their boy got into some trouble. But yeah, that's how leverage works. That's how power works. You connected to the right people. This is why certain athletes, they'll say with confidence what might have happened to them, even if it's a bold-faced lie, because that athlete, he's not paying people in the media, right? Brandon Ayuk, he doesn't have people in the media that he could pay, right? Kyrie Irving, he's not paying off people, even though he could if he wanted to. He's not doing that. It's a lot of, when I tell you, there's certain athletes I've already said on this channel. I don't even want to repeat it anymore. There's certain athletes I've told you, these people, they're off the chain. Some of them happen to be Tom Brady's friends. I'm going to leave that alone. But I've said their names on this channel. Trust me, they're off the chain. But they're just not going to get the reputation of off the chain. They're not going to get the reputation of he's suffering from CTE, or he's got a mental illness, or he's dealing with, they're not going to get that rep. But yeah, the Brandon Ayuk, he's not crashing out. I think he saw some gay shit. That's just me. That's just me. I think he saw some gay shit, and he was like, "Yo, what is going on in this organization?" I think he saw some like 666 activity. If it's not no booty bandit stuff, he probably saw some ritual or something that he was not privy to, and that's why he's just, I want to get out. I know you gave me my money already, and I know I'm giving up money by not showing up to what I need to show up, but I want to get out of here. When you see somebody like that, that's happening, he saw something that he was not supposed to see. It's very simple. Brandon Ayuk is not going crazy. Let me repeat that. He's not going crazy. But anyways, this is interesting. Shout out to Tony Farmer, his Twitter account. Conflict of interest in the MVP vote. This is interesting. Yeah. It says the Associated Press will not release its ballots so we can see if the woman on the left voted for the man on the right for Coach of the Year, and see who she voted for in slots 2 to 5. If Russini left Ben Johnson off her ballot like she did the prior year, Assistant Coach of the Year, when he received 29 first place votes, then that would be really tough to explain. It really makes you think. It really makes you think. That's why they don't even want to show her ballot. It's gonna explain it, because people they know what they're gonna see on that ballot. They're gonna see her voting for Vrabel. That is a huge conflict of interest. Like really big. Oh yeah, that is true. Tony Farmer also says, watch now as the media covers Aaron Rodgers' comments on Pat McAfee. They will focus on the Fauci stuff and the ESPN stuff, but will not mention Coach of the Year concerns he brought up. This is the one topic the NFL and the Associated Press is afraid of because of the sports betting implications. So when you're taking all of that into consideration, that's why they don't want to. This is why they don't want to even open up that investigation. Yeah, the media is going to focus on the Fauci comments and the ESPN criticism, but won't touch the AP and the Coach of the Year angle. Fauci is going to be the low-hanging fruit for, the next couple of weeks for all these, mouth breathers. No disrespect. But ESPN, they're not trying to cover that Coach of the Year angle, that her having a vote for the AP Players of the Year. Bruh. Because there's a lot of there's financial implications, the betting implications, because they're in bed with all these, these gambling websites and corporations. It's a lot of anyways. Oh man. Since I bet you 99% of Ohio doesn't even know the mess Mike Vrabel be doing. He is basically a hero to these people. It's not just, even when it comes to, let's get off this topic, right? Even when it comes to like steroids and stuff like that, you'll have people talking, and how do I say this? People will say they're anti this and anti that, they're anti steroids and all these stuff. And then you'll ask them, who's your favorite player? Oh, like I remember one dude, he was like talking crazy about Bonds and Company, Barry Bonds and Company, but he said he was a LeBron fan. I was just like, no disrespect to Broski, because I don't know if he's taking something or not, but I'm like, bruh. I'm like, your boy got allegations too. It's just that it's not covered as much on ESPN. It's covered here. We cover it. Like, we on the internet will cover the certain connections and Balco and all these things, but they're not going to cover it on ESPN. LeBron has paid off certain people to make sure that stuff like that doesn't even, like a story like that doesn't even catch less. There's plenty of athletes where there's enough of a connection where you can make that assumption, but because their agent is this or they're signed with that, it's never even brought up. He says sometimes people who are G's have bad takes. Of course, yeah. Even the best of us have bad takes. Like, I'm pretty sure I've had a couple of bad takes here and there. That's what I'll always say. I'll even preface it like certain things I'll say. I'm like, you don't have to follow my lead on this. This is just me. Right? For example, like we'll see. I say you don't even have to follow my lead when it comes to the Jalen Hurts, what I think about Jalen Hurts, J. Cole. I said you don't have to follow. That's on me. That's on me. You don't have to follow my lead on those. Whatever happens. That's just me putting something out there that some people might not be privy to. Right? Or let's take a safer example, Jalen Hurts. That's just me going off of a hunch with Jalen Hurts, right? That's just me looking at the situation, like me not looking as, because I'm definitely not no hater of Jalen Hurts. I'm just looking at it like, I don't know. It's not looking good for him just overall. You know what I'm saying? And then how about this? This is actually still connected to the Mike Vrabel situation. How about this? Jalen Hurts is a victim in all of this. Let's watch this. Here you have Dianna Russini doing everything in her power. Hold on. Sorry, my charger wasn't connected. Hold on. Here we go. My bad, guys. Here we go. So you have Dianna Russini every week saying, oh, AJ Brown is disgruntled. AJ Brown is disgruntled. Any chance that she can get. She's sowing the seeds of disharmony. Who's to say that this was that AJ Brown was disgruntled at all. Who's to say? He probably wasn't even disgruntled, but she knew Vrabel wanted him over here. Let me use my media influence to cause dissension in the locker room. Now, eventually, it's going to reach the players, and then eventually, the media is going to cover it so much where, okay, it's going to become reality. Now, look where AJ Brown is. He's a Patriot now. That was the goal all along. He just I want to be traded to the one place that where Dianna Russini was reporting he was being disgruntled. So so now Jalen Hurts, he loses one of his best targets. Now it's going to be more pressure on him to produce. I don't think Saquon Barkley is going to have a crazy good season like he did 2 years ago. I don't think so. So now, but I would say thankfully the Eagles, they brought in, what's his name, Mekhi Lemon from the draft. Thank God. You still have Devontae Smith. Thank God. So hopefully Jalen Hurts could still do his thing, but still is going to be pressure on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is married now. He still has that all-female staff that I don't trust. I just don't trust that situation. I just don't like where it's going. And I think now since AJ Brown is separated from Jalen Hurts, unfortunately, I think AJ Brown might be tempted to give up the reason why him and Jalen Hurts don't really talk to each other anymore. Because according to the internet, they're saying that the reason why they fell out is because AJ Brown's girl went to Jalen Hurts' girl for help because AJ Brown was cheating on his girl. AJ Brown's girl went to Jalen Hurts' girl and says, "What do I do?" Jalen Hurts' girl allegedly told AJ Brown's girl to break up with him, divorce him, or whatever. And AJ Brown's girl got mad at Jalen Hurts' girl for saying that. And that's basically where the rift started. What if that story is true, or if a semblance of that story is true, that's going to affect Jalen Hurts. That trust between him and his wife, like, bruh, it's so many ways that this can go bad for Jalen Hurts. And on top of that, it doesn't help that he has a whole bunch of jealous male haters in his orbit that get mad that hoes like him, that women like him. So even if he has the perfect situation where all of his women in his team are obedient and they're doing what they're supposed to do, there's probably going to be other dudes that are jealous of that situation, and they're going to leak certain things about Jalen Hurts to the media. And one thing you should, if you are an Eagles fan, one thing you need to be scared of is this. There's one thing you need to be scared of. When AJ Brown was kind of going to the media and kind of like putting the offense on blast, nobody really defended Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? When I say that, like, nobody really came forward and was like, nah, AJ Brown doing a little bit too much, or nobody came forward and said, well, Jalen Hurts, I think AJ Brown was expressing frustrations of what he felt like the offense really should be doing. And I think a lot of people in the locker room shared his sentiment. But that would be putting Jalen Hurts on blast. So I don't, it's not looking good for Jalen Hurts. It's just not, it's unfortunately, it just looks like he's in a situation where everything can fall apart. Even though he helped his team win a Super Bowl, it looks like Jalen Hurts is going on a Russell Wilson type trajectory. Even though he's like the complete opposite of Russell Wilson, meaning he's not a simp. He's more of a real ninja than Russell Wilson. No disrespect to Russell Wilson. So it's just weird. His trajectory is basically going where he's still disliked by a lot of his teammates because of his style of play. So it's weird. It's really weird. Watkins says, like, even 50 Cent and DMX got bad takes. They think Eminem is a G. Well, I'll say this. I don't Eminem is a mystery to me. That's what I'll say. I don't know. I just know, like, when it comes to my top 10, he's not in my top 10, but that's opinional, right? I don't know Eminem the person. I don't know. I don't know how he is, how he does things. 50, I have respect for 50. I have respect. I'll say I definitely have respect for DMX. He was a real one. His troubles were very obvious and it was very apparent. Rest in peace to DMX. But DMX was a real one. I'll say that. He was like that. I can put stock in the realness of DMX. So Eminem, I think they liked Eminem specifically because he was himself. And he was a phenomenon at the time when he was rapping in the early 2000s. And 50 Cent, you're never going to hear 50 Cent say anything negative about Eminem. You're never going to hear 50 Cent say anything negative about Eminem or Dre, because those were the guys that made him. I'm not going to say made him who he is, but he credits his career success to those guys. So you're never going to hear him say anything negative about those people. So I don't know Eminem the person, though. I don't know Eminem the person. But if you, like, when Eminem's daughter had her wedding, 50 was there. so that's how it shows you the relationship that they have. So I'm gonna just rely on 50 on it. I don't know what Eminem's situation is, but you're never gonna hear 50 say anything negative about M or Dre. B. Watkins says, I ain't up to all these things with Jalen Hurts, and I don't really care that much. But Jalen Hurts, yeah, he was on my swap list. He was definitely on my swap list. He's in an unstable situation. People, they said Eminem was definitely Diddy's homeboy. I don't know. Like I said, I gotta do the research on that. I gotta do the research on that. Like I said, I trust 50 though. I trust 50. Funny as hell. He's one of the few people calling out Diddy, or not afraid to call out Diddy for him being fluffy, right? Yeah, like fit. So 50's is an interesting character because we already know his dirt. He already went to jail for it, or to prison. There's a lot of people, they still think 50's a rat because of the diss track with him and the henchman. This all this nonsense from 2000s, from the from the late 90s and 2000s, right? But Fifth, it's 50 is an interesting case. I have massive. He's one of the few, like, mainstream celebrities that I respect. He's like that list is like 3 people long. 50's one of them, right? Yeah, B. Watts is exactly. He says, I trust 50 because he's always called out Puff. Yeah, he's always called out Diddy. He was one of the few. It was just him, probably 2 other people, and 50 always he's never had respect for Jay. He's the only one with the balls to be like, man, fuck. He never said fuck Jay, but he's like, nah, Jay flawed. Jay is very flawed. I'll say this: I trust Eminem before I trust Jay. I don't trust Jay-Z at all. I trust Eminem before I trust Jay. And I think Jay-Z has better albums than Eminem. I think I don't think I just don't now Jay-Z not in my top 10 either. And I think Eminem's a better rapper than Jay-Z. Jay-Z, that's people want to talk about plant or somebody that's like deliberately put in our face. That's a dude right there. I do not trust him at all. Garrett Grant says, "You're not wrong, Chris. I only saw a few ex-teammates defend Hurts online. Hopefully the new changes / additions help. New OC, more options at wide receiver. I hope so too, in terms of, because I did like that pick when they brought in Mekhi Lemon. I knew AJ Brown was on his way out. So it's a good pickup. That's no regular pickup. Mekhi Lemon, he's a dog. He was a dog in college. So that's a good pickup right there. They're stacked at that wide receiver position again, so that's good. Devontae's obviously he's going to be the number one, and we'll see what Mekhi Lemon does. I think Mekhi Lemon is going to shine. But Jalen, I don't know. Jalen Hurts is just that especially just I didn't see a whole bunch of teammates. They didn't really defend him. They didn't defend his honor. Jalen Hurts might be the new Russell Wilson in terms of where just for some reason teammates is not fucking with him. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. It could be jealousy. I think I'm leaning towards the jealousy, meaning his team of females. Because the thing is, if you're a dude like a Jalen Hurts, he didn't need football to get bad bitches, right? Like if Jalen Hurts were to never even say if he went to college and he never even played football, he would have still been able to attract bad bitches. So there's a lot of guys, they don't really know how to handle that, where they see a guy like a Jalen Hurts and he can literally have a roster of hoes and he doesn't even have to fuck them, and they're still obedient to him like he's one of his hoes. Like they are one of his hoes. There's a lot of guys, they don't know how to handle that. So I think that's a part of it. That's something that I didn't factor in when I made the swap list, and that's something you have to factor in. Male jealousy, you definitely got to factor that. Because the way he has it set up, it's like all of his hoes, they know they roll. They keep their mouth shut and they do what they're supposed to do. So and I'm talking about these women that like the women on his team. I'm not gonna say they're bad bitches, but they're close, very close. These are not no regular looking women. These are some decent looking women that he got on his team. Like you look at the female agent that he has. Let me see if I can bring up a picture, because I know I'm not tripping. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Yes, these were not like normal looking women. Let me see something. Jalen Hurts, all female management team. Let me see if they got the picture of these people. Yeah, Nicole Lynn, which is his agent, and she helped him. Okay, let me see if they can bring up the picture of some of these people. Can I open this in a new tab, or I might have to, let me see. Okay, so he has two of the, okay, so yeah. Yeah, so three of them are some pretty women. Now, two of them, they're like two of them are normal looking. Two of them are normal, but they're all young. Exactly. Somebody said in the comments, I'm about to show you. They're all young and good looking, most of them. Now, even the two, the the white the top left girl and the bottom right black girl, yeah, they're not lookers, but they're young. So that helps. You know what I mean? So let me see if I can do a zoom in on these people. Can I zoom in? Get a better look. Okay, let's get some individual pictures real quick. So we got Jenna Malfruz. I don't know how to say her name. Like that's like a regular, like, white chick in her late 20s. That might be the ugliest one. Like these two, those are the ugliest ones. But then you got Chantel Roman. Like these are, and then you got these two broads on your team, and then you got Nicole Lynn as your agent. Like these three specifically, you got Rachel Everett, Nicole Lynn, and Chantel Roman. Like these three, like, bruh, and then on top of that, he has a black wife, so that's gonna help him. Him having the black wife, so now he's gonna have all the black females on his side. So he's got all of that working for him and against him at the same time. So there's gonna be guys that look at that and they're just gonna be like, fuck this guy. Oh man, let me get some individual pictures though. Especially of Chantel Roman, Nicole Lynn, and Rachel Everett. Let's get some individual pictures. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, ninjas is definitely don't get it twisted. They going ninjas is shooting their shot. NBA ninjas is definitely shooting their shot at her. And how about NFL teammates is definitely shooting their shot. And then how about you got what's it? Yeah, Rachel Everett. Yeah, like the Rachel Everett. She's a looker. She's definitely a looker. Yeah, like, yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Athletes are definitely shooting their shot at this. Hold on, let me see if I can open image a new tab. Oh, I can't. But they're definitely shooting a shot. They're definitely shooting their shot at this. Oh, so she's been part of his sports marketing team since he was in college. Yeah. So you got, and then we got to do Nicole Lynn. So we got to search up Nicole Lynn. Oh, let's open image in new tab. Let's take this. So apparently Jenna, that left girl that was on the left, she's a torta. Jenna's a torta. Oh Lord. And Nicole Lynn, she is like Nicole Lynn and Rachel Everett. They might be the prettiest of the bunch. But yeah, NFL ninjas, they definitely shooting a shot at most of these chicks. Yes, they definitely are. They won't admit it. They're gonna act like, nah, it ain't no big deal, but they shooting their shot. They're definitely shooting their shot. The Ninjas is too prideful, man. They too prideful. They definitely shooting their shot. Definitely are. They're not gonna admit it, but they are. So imagine this. So let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100 with that. So imagine this. Imagine you see one of them broads. You don't know that she's connected to Jalen Hurts. You shoot her shot. She shoots you down with the quickness. Like I'm talking about with the quickness, but then you see her with Jalen Hurts, and you're like, wait, so Jalen Hurts is hitting that? And then you find out, no, she's just working under him. And then you find out that you shoot you looking at another broad, you shoot your shot at another broad, you find out she's working under him. You're like, God damn, how many bitches he got? And then you find out he has another girl that's with it. Oh, nah. People gonna jump into conclusions. That's what that jealousy is definitely gonna hit it. So it is what it is. You gotta hide your holes sometimes. B. Watson says, but too many G's trust a lot of people because reasons too many cool dudes trust the wrong people. See Chronic trusting Taylor the Fiend. Another Taylor the Fiend shot. So Jay-Z and Diddy definitely killed Aaliyah, so Beyonce had no one in her way. I tend to agree. I don't know who were the perpetrators per se, but I definitely believe that Jay-Z was behind the death. I don't remember about the Diddy connection, but it wouldn't surprise me if Diddy was connected to that because Diddy was connected to a lot of deaths in the industry, in that specific industry when it comes to the black artists and all that. Jay-Z, I have no doubt he knows, even if he wasn't behind it, he knows what really happened with Aaliyah. I can, yeah, I can. You can put money on that. You can definitely put money on that. Beyonce would not have been Beyonce had Aaliyah stayed alive. I definitely believe that as well. Aaliyah had that, remember when I was talking about that glow, that when people are just attracted to certain people, Aaliyah was one of those people where people were just they just wanted to be near her. They wanted to just be with her. She was just one of those girls. And as young as Aaliyah was, like she was already passed around in the industry like Rihanna style. Like so many dudes had her. Jay-Z smashed. Dame Dash was the boyfriend at the time when Aaliyah passed away. That's why do you think, guys? Why do you think? So what B. Watson says with the Jay-Z and Diddy connection. Anybody that's denying this, why do you think Dame Dash be so much on Jay-Z's? Like he be mad at Jay-Z all the time. You think it's just because of the severance of ties that when Jay-Z severed ties with him and rock and with the Rockaware and all this stuff, that's not just business. When you seeing two dudes getting at it, it's a bitch involved. When I'm talking about, it'll be like years later and they're still at it, or Dame Dash still hasn't gotten rid of the bitterness that he has towards Jay-Z, which is well earned, mind you. I'm on Dame Dash's side, but when you see that level of energy, towards Jay-Z, that's because he thinks that not only because he know that Jay-Z smashed, but he thinks that he was behind Aaliyah's passing. He's not going to say that out loud, but if you put Dame Dash on a lie detector, it's because of that. That's why he be at Jay-Z's neck. Yeah, exactly. He says I can definitely see the jealousy spiking after the Eagles won the chip. I think is a lot of male jealousy that's going that unfortunately will lead to Jalen Hurts' downfall. It's gonna be the opposite of what happened to Russell Wilson, where with Russell Wilson it wasn't jealousy, it was just this nigga is just he's too much of a cornball to realize he's the problem, right? And then with Jalen Hurts, it's the opposite. He's too cool, if that makes sense. You could be like, Russell Wilson could be so disconnected. Like Russell Wilson was so disconnected from reality, he didn't realize he was alienating his teammates with his actions and how he did things. And then when Jalen Hurts, yeah, he was alienated from his teammates, but in a different way because he's too cool. That's what I've come to the conclusion when it comes to Jalen Hurts, because it was so much people talking about things about Jalen Hurts that wasn't really relevant. And I started picking up on it. I was like, oh, they jealous. They just it finally hit me because I'm trying to go, I'm trying to keep things objective. I'm trying to just go off the optics and all these things, and I'm doing, my analysis. And I really, maybe it's just my spirit was denying it for so long, but it's jealousy. It is jealousy. And unfortunately, he's going to end up with the same results as Russell Wilson, but it's going to be on a different end, just male jealousy. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. B. Watson says Jay-Z and P. Diddy definitely were the main conspirators, but dudes like R. Kelly and other MFers were also involved. It wasn't a two-man conspiracy. I could see R. Kelly catching a hint about what could have happened to Aaliyah. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Because at the end of the day, if Aaliyah passes away, I don't have to worry about this, this girl going in the future talking about what I may or may have not done to her when she was a minor. You know what I mean? So he definitely, and him and people forget R. Kelly and Jay-Z, they were boys at one point. They were friends at one point. So that was a legit collaboration at one point. So people forget. People say, oh, Jay-Z wasn't doing the same things that R. Kelly was. Yeah, right. But that's a whole nother story for another day. I could see R. Kelly being a part of that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, unfortunately, he's gonna get taken down by male jealousy. And I'll say this: looking at Nicole Lynn, I've taken a closer look at Nicole Lynn. People was definitely shooting their shots. Because it's one thing to shoot your shot at a broad, and then she says, "Oh, Jalen Hurts is my man." But it's another thing where you shooting your shot at a girl, and she's saying no, and then you find out she's not even taken by an NFL dude. She works for him. She works for him, and she's just shutting you down like he's her boyfriend, but that's not the case. That's a different level of, yo, what the F is this? What's going on? Because there's still a level of, okay, say if Nicole Lynn was his wife, it would be like, oh, okay, that's his wife. I'ma still smash, but okay, that's his. I might try, but there's not gonna be no bitterness. It's something different where he's like, damn, how you got all these broads to just. I can't, and then they try to smash, and they shut it down with the quickness. They probably tell him, those girls that work under Jalen Hurts, they probably be telling Jalen Hurts like, yo, your boys, they be trying to smash. I be shutting them down, but they be trying to smash. And Jalen Hurts knows. So it's an interesting dynamic. It's definitely an interesting dynamic. We definitely might have to I might have to do a separate show on that. Also, I do like B Watkins gave me an idea the other day. I have to do a show on that Fox News segment where there was a situation where a student, he said, I don't ever want to work for a small hat. I don't ever want to work under a small hat. And they were saying that student should like lose his college scholarship, the scholarship. He needs to be kicked out and all these things. And I was like, wait a minute. So everything else is fine, but a person can say I don't want to work for a small hat, and then all of a sudden you want the person ousted, you want him doxxed, you want the person, you want his life ruined, because they literally said that. They said that kid needs to have his life ruined for saying what he said about a small hat. It was very interesting. I really started to look at the conservative party, and I was like, I think this is not the same conservative party that I grew up seeing, or the same Republican party. Like this is it has been commandeered, if that's a word. I don't know. This thing has been it's all about, that thing has been overran by small hat sympathizers or small hats themselves, LARPing as American first type dudes, but they're not American first at all. They're small hat people first. America can keep the scraps. So I do got to cover that segment. But anyways, I think that's it for today. I went 1 hour overtime. Yeah, a lot of small hat influencers going on right in on that right hand side and on the left hand side too. But I'm just saying that what the conservative party needs to do if they want to survive, they need to do some expunging. So they need to start purging that influence from that party, because really what's best for this country is for people to vote right. We can't have more people voting left. The country we can't afford people to vote left right now. But because of that influence in their party, Republicans are really going to lose a lot of ground in this next election. So this is not good. They need to really take that influence out. How am I supposed to convince young men to vote right, and you still got this shit that you're not going to address? And the left, they're taking advantage of it. They're taking advantage of the indecision from the right to what do they want to do about the small hat problem. So it's, that's another story for another day. But man, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know what the next segment is going to be. And by the way, I do isn't Chronic on Rumble? So I'm gonna have to download the Rumble app, because Chronic, he's not on. They've basically ousted him from YouTube. So I'm gonna have to download Rumble and see what he what he got going on. They're basically, he's getting that Tommy Sotomayor treatment right now. They're not even trying to have him on YouTube. But yeah, that's it for today. Let me see, the conservatives. Yeah, they're not gonna do it right now. Yeah, he says, Crowley said that no party has done anything for young men, but for the betterment of the country, we can't, because I don't think men are going to vote. I don't think young men are going to vote liberal anyways, but it's going to make a lot of young men look bad just because of that small hat influence. He said he's Zombie Kush on YT right now. Okay. I'm gonna subscribe. I'm a because I was like, where? I just assumed that. Oh damn, they just. it's been about a month or two, and I'm just like, what the? I haven't been getting no notifications. What's going on? And I'm like, oh, they took his shit again. So let me subscribe right now before I sign off. Thank you, Garrett, for that. Let me just subscribe real quick. But yeah, male jealousy, what I was talking about, that's a real thing, man. Male jealousy is a real thing. Anybody that's ever been the best player on a sports team where you don't even know nobody, but you're still the best player on the team, know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Right? Male jealousy, that is a real thing, man. Zombie could. Yes, sir. Subscribed. Hammer hands, yeah, man. Uh-oh. He had a State of Manosphere, the State of the Manosphere address. Oh man. Oh man. So okay, I'm back in the fold because I felt like I was missing a different part of the game. Because if I'm missing streams from Chronic, I feel like I'd be getting soft. So I should be good. Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am signing off. What outro video should I use? Yeah, we'll use the James Brown. Or let me see. What else do I got? Now we'll use the Family Guy one. Here we go. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's just the Cutterings Cook has eaten his channel. Yeah, that's another thing too. If you piss off, there's certain people you can't piss off because they're connected. The Quartering, that segment, that group, I don't have any hate towards that group because I ignore that group. But if you piss off anybody from the Quartering, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I'm peacing out. Peace.